Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Her. And I am just sipping on a little juice right now. But most importantly, I have my cup mug. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. Deal or No Deal Island exit interview edition. And we are here to, yes, Jack is not here. Jack is gone. He is on a trip, but shout out to Jack. I got you. But sadly, we are here to talk to the one, the only, Shelle, who was just eliminated from Deal or No Deal Island in this last episode. I'm so excited to talk to her. I cannot wait. I mean, look, she's dope. She's dope. And I can't wait to see how dope she is. So before we jump into this interview, y'all know what to do. Subscribe to this channel and all of our other channels. We are trying to get 1,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year so we can unlock some things that we can enjoy and have fun with and share with you guys. So if you haven't subscribed, please do that. And we appreciate you. But also check out our 3 other channels, our Drag or Drag Race if you're interested, our Eurovision Song Contest if you're interested, or our Ringside, WWE Ringside if you are interested. All those links will be in the description below. And our podcast, our audio podcast links is in the description below if you need to check us out on the go. So go check that out. And also, you can follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, all of those places. So go follow us and join our Patreon. We got a lot of fun stuff we're doing in our Patreon, so you can find out who we are as panelists outside of just talking about competition reality shows, you know? So do that. And if I didn't mention, I don't remember I mentioned, we do ship our cup mugs and all of our mugs and all of our other merch internationally and domestically. So there are no excuses. Go to lanagscreations.etsy.com. That's where you can get your cup merch. And yeah, I'm doing things all out of the order because honestly, I don't feel like talking about me. I want to get into this conversation with Shelle. So I'm just going to stop talking. And without further ado, let's get to Miss Dope herself, the queen of social is what I like to call her. That is Shelle. And we are here, y'all. I told y'all she was dope. And she said she was dope. So I'm going to say she dope. It's Shelle.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Cup. We are just excited. I'm excited. My partner who couldn't be here because he's traveling right now, he was devastated. He was like, not the week I have to go out of town. Shelle is the one we get to talk to. Like devastated.
That's all right. We'll have another opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's just get into it.
Sure.
First of all, how did you feel about watching your episode back? Was it something you looked forward to? Or
I did. Honestly, I really enjoyed the entire experience and I was looking forward to it. You know, we don't get to see how it's edited, right?
right.
We're there for the parts we're there for. And then how it shows up on TV is like, who knows? But I actually loved it. I thought it was great. I had fun watching it.
I noticed. I watched your Instagram. I will say that I was watching your Instagram and how you were just going live every week. I enjoyed that more than I think the
Yeah.
episode. Sometimes it was like I love that. I liked how you were just so open and like, hey, this is
Yeah,
fun.
this is fun. Like, let's have fun with this. I enjoyed it. I loved going live after every episode because I want to see what people think. You know what I mean? It's like I filmed it, I was in it, I was on it, but that's just my experience. Like, I want to
Right.
see what everybody else is feeling.
Right. It was a great experience to watch it, and watching you enjoy it made it more enjoyable for me to watch it.
I'm glad.
It was so good. So what made you apply for the show in the first place?
The universe, God. I
Period.
listen. I accidentally applied. Literally, I don't know if you
Okay.
knew this. I used to watch the old Deal or No Deal, and
Mm-hmm.
back in the beginning of last year, when I saw a commercial for the Island version, I just set my DVR to record it. I didn't actually watch it until like May.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was watching it on DVR, I was like, okay, I get it. I guess, I'm thinking about the old game. I actually saw a little NBC commercial that said, if you want to be on the show, go to this website. So I didn't want to be on the show. I went to the website because I just wanted to see like what kind of questions do they ask? Like what's the
Mm-hmm.
application? So I was filling it out because you kind of have to answer one to get to the next, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like putting in kind of haphazard things, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's your biggest fear? I'm like, why would I tell you that? Right? I'm just on my phone in my pajamas. And so I finally hit a button that says next, another next button, and it says thanks for your submission. Now, again, I didn't think anything of it because I'm like, I didn't really fill it out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I just kind of skimmed through it but then I get a phone call, right? So I'm like, what? You got to be kidding. Like, you can't tell by this application that I was just sort of visiting. You know what I
Right.
mean? I wasn't like intently answering, and it landed me on the show. And so that was the universe, literally. I
That
was
is
not sitting around saying, let me go do Deal or No Deal. I didn't even know the show existed until I set it for DVR.
wow.
So
That is the wildest thing I've ever
it's
heard in my entire
so
life.
wild. It's crazy.
Oh my God, because I was looking at um everybody else's answers that they came out. They're like, oh, I didn't apply. Somebody hit me up in my DMs
Nope.
and da 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 da. I just didn't. And you're like, I applied by accident.
In my pajamas on my couch.
Wild. I
Literally.
that is. I mean, but it got you here.
It got me here. It was meant to
It was
be.
meant to be.
It
It
was meant
was.
to be. It was meant to. It's very interesting. I tell people all the time, like people that know me, right? They're like, how does it feel to see yourself on TV? And honestly, surprisingly to me, I feel like I've been on TV my whole life. Like it didn't
Mm,
feel like, oh my, like you're on TV. It was like, oh yeah, the show's on tonight. And that's me. But it just, I don't know. I think the universe knew something I didn't.
I'm gonna tell you what the universe knew. We needed to see you on this screen with this group of people because you literally were the refreshing, like barrier that like grounded everybody.
Yes.
You were the foundation for
Yeah.
all of this madness that is going around. That was going around.
Agreed.
I could always rely on Lachelle just being calm
Yep.
and cool,
Yep.
and they didn't give you huge edit. Like we
Nope.
didn't see a lot of you,
Yeah,
but
but it was
what?
all the same. It was
Yeah,
all the same. That's just who I am. And people who know me are like, oh my God, you like just on TV, just being you. And I'm
I
like, I
love
didn't
that.
really plan to be there. So it's not like I could build up a strategy. All I had was me. All I
Well,
had was me.
I think it's just easier to be yourself.
It
Like,
is.
who has time to put on a character and try to portray this character for however long you're going to be
No,
there?
because when you do that, you lose sight of what you're trying to actually accomplish. And I was just trying to stay alive through every challenge, like literally physically
Right.
stay
Absolutely.
alive. Like every time I was like, what the hell do y'all have me doing now? What is this?
Right.
So I was focused on that. Like, okay, Lachelle, stay grounded, try to follow the game, do what you got to do. Don't break no ankles, arms, and so, it helped. I was able to stay centered on myself and it helped everyone else, right?
Yeah.
That was my
Absolutely.
strategy. Like, if I could be the best me, then it can only be helpful to the people around me.
Absolutely. You literally said your strategy was you're the social person.
Yep.
That's who you are. You're a social worker and you do social things. And
Yep.
everybody just loves you. Like this was the saddest elimination. Like nobody wanted you to
So
go.
many text messages with crying face emojis and DMs of my Instagram. I was like, oh my God. I felt like giving everybody a hug. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Like nobody wanted you to go. Like
No,
nobody
that's
on the
so
island wanted
nice.
you to go. None of us wanted you to go because it's like
Oh,
I wanted you to stay to the end because I needed something different
yeah.
from everything else that was going on because it's a lot
Yes.
going on the island and
Yes.
we don't need just a lot and
Yes.
nothing else. You
Yeah.
were the other.
I
You were
know.
the difference in the piece. And it was like, crazy, crazy.
Yes.
Hell.
It's interesting, Lana, because I felt that when I was there. But when I watched the episode and I saw like CK was grunting and
Yes.
Joe said he loved me, like I don't even remember that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like I feel bad. I'm like, I feel bad it didn't go further. It's like I let y'all down.
No, it was just, you were just what we needed. You
I'm
were
so
just
happy to
what we
hear that.
needed.
I'm
But it
so
was
happy to
lovely.
hear that.
It was, but I need to know,
Yes.
did you watch a lot of reality TV before this?
Girl. My idea of a reality TV show is Family Feud.
Period.
Listen, okay, no, I had never, to this day, I've never seen Survivor. Never. I've never seen Big Brother, which were, the reality royalty on our cast were from those shows.
Right.
I used to watch like the first 2 seasons of like Amazing Race.
I love that show.
Yeah, I liked it too. But no, I was not a big reality TV challenge person. Like back in the day, I would watch things like Love and Hip Hop, or no one was like doing challenges. You know what I mean?
Flavor of Love and all that stuff.
Unknown bankers, like no, I was clueless. But you know what? It really benefited me that I didn't, because I saw my competitors, my castmates. They were not only fighting in the game, but they were fighting like the ghost of shows past. They were thinking like Parvati's so amazing because they've seen her play, right? Or Will was like a phenomenon, and no one knew about David except for Parvati. But people were almost playing against what those people did before. Because I didn't see it, I was able to stay focused on who they were showing up as now.
Yeah.
And that helped me.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely. Because you were squarely in the middle.
I was.
You were squarely in the middle, and like neither side wanted you to go.
Nobody wanted me to go.
Nobody was looking at you. It was just like, let them. And I was like, Shelle is in the perfect position on this show. If you never had to play the banker, you would just still be sitting there. And I was like, man, she is in a perfect position.
Yeah.
At first, and for a long time, I used to say Philip was in that position. I said Philip is in a really good position right now in the game. He could win.
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, Philip is creeping out of that position because he's making himself known.
Yep.
Now Shelle is squarely in this
in the middle
position. It was so good to watch, and I was like, oh, because first of all, I root for everybody black. Period. I make it no bones about it.
That's right.
On every show, I do. So I was rooting so hard for you.
I appreciate it.
I was like, they are in really good positions. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep going. Well, Philip's still in there.
Well, he is in there. I'm rooting for him.
Me too.
But so speaking of all of that, Boston Rob told you on your way out you were his winner pick.
I was shocked. See, okay, here's the deal, right?
Another person.
I knew Boston Rob from season 1. I didn't know Boston Rob, the Survivor player, right? So, but when I watched season 1 and I saw people were worried about him and they were saying he won Survivor, I was shocked to hear someone who has mastered these kinds of games say that to me. You could see it in my face. I was like, me? I was shocked, but it really made me feel good. Yeah. I was happy to hear that from him.
I mean, because I think gamers who play these games, they can spot someone who's just doing really well in the game. And he spotted how well you placed yourself and how nobody was looking at you.
No one. And I was in the bottom almost every single time. And at every time I went into Temple, I was like, I'm fine. I know I'm fine. I just felt it, So I was glad he saw that too.
Okay. It is okay. I'm gonna keep going because I will sit here and talk to you for hours, and I know I don't have that time.
Another time,
definitely. Yeah. So, what was going through your mind? Well, let's go back to last week's Temple when that crazy Temple with CK and all of that was going down.
Yes.
What was going through your mind when CK was exposing the other people for what went down between them and MG?
Yep.
And were you even aware of these deals that was going on?
No, that was the other thing. People kept their dirty drawers away from me also.
Period.
Right? They didn't want me to know. It's almost like they didn't want me to look at them badly. I don't know what it was. I was not aware. Like I was shocked as all of this was being revealed, but I was actually glad CK was doing it, because what I did see is that people were trying to switch their targets onto her. And she is a very strategic player, and she has got your back until she sees you coming for her, and then you are finished with her.
Yeah.
Like she is done. And so I was not surprised that she did that, but what she was saying was all news to me. I was like, oh, wait, what? Oh, interesting. Yeah. So, and I was sitting in the middle of it and nothing was coming my way. So I just got to sit there and enjoy it like eating popcorn.
Right. I think it was I want to say it was just a respect for you. I feel like we are in the same age grade.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And because, and me and my 46 years of age and such.
Yes, yes.
And I think a lot of people who I deal with who are younger than me, they like to keep a lot of stuff away from me because they say it's a respect thing. And I'm like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't want your dirty drawers.
I don't want your dirty drawers. And no one brought it to me. I made it through the entire thing. Nobody's dirty drawers.
I love that for you.
So do
I love that for you. So during the hiking trail.
Yes.
Let's get to that because this one right here, I ain't gonna lie, it perplexed me.
I'm sure.
It confused me.
Everyone's confused.
I was so like, what is happening here? Like, y'all watch David and Parvati like take control of this entire trail.
Yep.
And was never in any danger of being sent away. Like never. Nobody said their name wants to be sent out. What was going through your mind as that happened? And were you okay? I mean, of course you were okay with it because honestly, they weren't coming for you.
They weren't coming for me. No. Well, here's the thing that I'm glad I get the opportunity to talk about this, right? Because what was happening was this was the first challenge that I was in where I had the opportunity to go to the end if I wanted to, right? Luck was not on my side in most of the challenges, right? Like I completed them, but I was always in the bottom. And I knew, I could tell, like the further you went, the higher the cases were. That made sense. For me, I wanted to go as far as possible so I could have a case that would keep me safe.
Right.
So which is why I voted everyone else off the mountain except for me, and no one else was voting these two off the mountain. I would have voted them off. I would have joined in on anyone who voted for them. No one did. So it was insane to me. I'm like, why do y'all keep doing this? But I was minding my own business, right? Because I need to get up top and get me a big case so I'm safe.
Period.
And when we got to the top, where there was that final challenge where you had to go against the gorge, first of all, my body was like, enough with these damn heights.
Period.
Enough. And I was also like, I'm already safe.
Right.
And this was a timed challenge. And I knew this wasn't going to be some sweet little zip line. I knew it was going to be, because we couldn't really see it fully, right? We read the description. I knew it was going to be some twist. And it was like, you had to carry your body weight. And I was like, again, I accidentally ended up here. I wasn't home training, doing push-ups and none of that, right? So I said, you know what? I am safe because I have the highest case before the final thing. So I know I may not be the person with the power to pick who plays, but I'm safe. So I'll let y'all have that. Y'all can have that and get it done in the time frame, right? Y'all are the jungle people. Y'all are out here, survivor, winner party. Y'all got that. But then I come down and the banker puts a twist. Now that I didn't know. Had I known that I would have been in that position, I might have swallowed my fear and my chances to try to do the gorge part of the challenge. But again, people don't realize I knew I was safe because I had the highest case before the last challenge. I knew I was safe until the banker was like, not so fast.
Right. That was kind of foul, banker. I just want to say that was so rude.
Your banker, Lord.
I was like, not my girl, not her getting caught up in this nonsense because y'all want to twist it or twist
around.
Sick and twisted.
I know.
So when you came back, and you realized that you were being outed at the final step, like you were done. Now you have to face the bank. Between you or Dixon, y'all faced the banker. What was your plan moving forward? What were you like? Okay, now that this is what I have to do. Now I got to figure out either do I want to play the banker? Do I not want to play the banker? How do I get to not play the banker? What was your strategy moving forward?
So I didn't want to play the banker at all, right?
Absolutely.
And then I knew Parvati was the picker, right? And it was only me and Dixon. and Dixon is her son. And I was like, okay, but I knew she didn't really care about Dixon, right? Parvati didn't really care about anybody. So I figured I'm going to use two people who've been working to support me and protect me in the game, which was David and CK, who were really tight with Parvati, to talk to her and convince her not to put me up. I talked to her myself, which you saw. And she said, I'm not going to put you up because you gave me safety. Now, I didn't really trust that because I've seen Parvati lie to people's faces before. So I was like, okay, the chances are it's still 50-50 I'll play. Me and Dixon had a conversation. We knew it was going to be one of us. And what we determined was whoever plays, if that person wins, we're not sending the other one home.
Okay.
So I knew if I didn't play, I was safe. If I did play, I just have to try to beat the banker and get back to camp, right?
Okay.
But, you can't. I knew she was going to pick one of us, and I wasn't surprised she picked me. I was a little disappointed, but that's kind of her style. That's her gameplay style.
Yeah, I mean, Dixon did what he needed to do in order to make sure she did not pick him, because one thing we saw a lot of conversation about in this episode was emotional manipulation. Yeah. So everybody's talking about emotional manipulation and who's doing that to people, who's doing that to who.
Yes.
And a lot of people online are very upset with Philip because of what he did to Parvati, what he did to her. And they said that he was emotionally manipulating her.
That's what she said.
And that's what she said too.
But
and
he wasn't.
But I don't think he was. He was just mad.
He was pissed. He was pissed. And she did use his trauma against him.
And that's what I've been saying. Like, go watch my recap, y'all.
Listen, I'm a social worker. Right? I work with trauma. And I was like, ooh, when he told me she said that, this was before he spoke to her.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, she really did, and he was just pissed. And he was like, not going to hold his tongue. He put his alliance with her in jeopardy, but he was just too angry. And he had to say something. And I'm glad that he did. He needed to get it off his chest.
Absolutely. And I said that on the recap. Y'all can go check that out. But I was like, you never know how traumatized someone is.
Facts.
And so you can't say it's not that deep because you don't know how deep.
You don't know. It was deep. It was deep. It was deep.
But my question with that is, nobody is talking about how Dixon used his emotional manipulation to David when he was like, "You're the dad I never had."
Well,
he
said
that before.
Yes. Dixon really did look up to him as a dad, right? And that was a real exchange, because even when it was over, right? You guys don't see this, but like David came into our tent where we live and we cried and talked about it more because David and I both lost our fathers.
Yeah.
We had wonderful fathers, right? And David has 4 children.
Yeah.
I have 2. And we were missing our kids. Yeah. And really did need that kind of connection. And it was just actually perfect timing when he used it. Yeah. But the reality was David had nothing to do with who was getting picked to play.
No, he didn't.
Parvati was going to play who she felt like playing.
Absolutely. I think Dixon did that, not for manipulation purposes, just to get, like you said, a real conversation, true thing that happened. But he also knew David was going to go talk to Parvati about this.
Of course. But the other thing that was interesting though, right? Because when David went to Parvati, she said, "So do you want me to play Shelle?" And he said no. But she got to play somebody.
Right. That was the crazy part about this whole situation. They both wanted both of y'all to stay.
They wanted us both to stay.
Parvati knew she had to pick between the two of you. And she said it herself. She was like, I'm going to disappoint somebody. Right. And I don't like it, but I'm going to do it. And I have to do it because those are the only 2 choices that I was left.
And I honestly think she was hoping that whoever played would win.
Absolutely.
And have a choice to send somebody else home.
Now, with that being said,
yes,
if you did win, deal and know the island, you said you made the deal with Dixon not to send him home.
Yes.
Would you have stuck to that deal?
Yes.
Or would you? So who would you have sent home in that?
I was sending Letty home.
Oh, that's
I was going to send Letty home, right? Because here I am standing there with my case, playing the game, and I'm looking at who's left, and it's like the cast of the Avengers.
Yes.
Right? Philip's a muscle, David's a muscle, Letty's a muscle, even CK's a muscle. She is, right? Me and Dixon are really physically the weakest links, and then Parvati right behind us. And Parvati and Letty were the safest through the whole game.
Absolutely.
And Parvati wasn't up for dibs. I couldn't get rid of her. She was safe. David was safe. So of the people there, it wasn't going to be Philip because me and him had a connection and a bond. It wasn't going to be CK because me and her were tight from day one. And
y'all fought together.
Exactly. And it wasn't going to be Dixon because neither one of us wanted to be in that position. And Dixon was not a physical threat to me.
Absolutely.
Letty was the only proper choice, in my opinion.
And that would have been the right choice, honestly. To be honest, I would have been. I hate it because I do like Letty, but it would have been the best choice.
I mean, at this point, there's only a handful of us left.
It really is. It's like, what do you do? I liked it. I liked it. I liked the way you thought. If that would have happened, I'd be like, oh, sorry, Letty. It is what it is.
Nice knowing you.
Nice knowing you. You've been great.
You've been great. Right.
Peace, though. But
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your game. Because you are facing the banker now. And you were 50-50 throughout that entire time. Like too low, too high every round, the first 2 rounds. I was like, okay, all right. And your offers were decent.
Yep.
But of course you weren't taking those first 2 offers. Understood. You get to that last offer. Mm-hmm. And your odds of the deal that you took was 1 chance you survive, 2 chances you go home.
Yep.
Why did you end up taking the deal?
Okay. So the way that I viewed it, I had a 50-50 chance, right? I had the case I had. So that was that. I didn't know if it was, because if you remember on the board, there was the low number. I think it was 250.
Yep.
And it was that high
2.17 and 2.
Or whatever it was, right? And so I was like, okay, if I go another round and pick a case, if I pick the 250, I am a hero because it's a lot more money, but I could still have the higher case than what the banker's about to offer.
Right.
If I picked the high case that was up there, now I'm Luke. And now the deal drops down to pennies because clearly, right, there's either that one low number up there that may be mine, maybe not be, or I have $1 million something case in my possession. Mm-hmm. So for me, I wasn't quite willing to take the risk of dropping down the amount of money I already got the dealer to offer and still end up being eliminated. Because there was a 50-50 chance I was going home when I played that next round.
Right.
For me, I was like, you know what? I want to go out. If I go out, I want to go out knowing that I played a good game. No one sent me home. And I put a lot of money in this pot.
Period.
That was it for me.
That makes sense.
I'm going to end up going one more, even though CK was like, and she's a banker. I should have listened to her. She's like, go one more, go one more, go one more. And I was like, yeah, but if I go one more, it's going to drop back under millions. And I was like, I want this to be the biggest jackpot in history. And I want to contribute to that. So that's what I did.
Yeah, I feel you. I definitely understand. I probably would have went one more because I was
of course, a lot of people would have went one more.
Just one more, even if you knocked off the 1 million or the 2 point.
I know.
Yeah, but I understand what your thought process was, and I respect it. So I think you said it, but I want to make sure. Who are you rooting for to win this game?
I have 3 people I'm rooting for, right? Any one of them would make me happy. My roomie, David, my bestie, CK, and then my homie, Philip.
Period.
Any one of them. And the reason is because they worked hard to get where they were. They all faced adversity, especially Philip and CK. They didn't let anything stop them. And I just feel like if I looked at it from a position of like, who really worked to earn it the most, I feel like they were the ones.
Absolutely. Your face did something on a couple of episodes back, very shocking because I was screamed too. When Philip brought up Harriet Tubman, did you scream too? Because I screamed.
I was in front of Philip, right? And he was behind me. And I literally, my whole back went up. I said, did he just bring Harriet out the grave?
Out the grave, baby! I screamed.
Oh my goodness!
I think I watched that clip 800,000 times.
I was like, this is priceless.
I was like, this is sheer entertainment. I can't.
Philip is so witty. He is so witty. Do you remember in the swamp? He was like, "This is some Huck Finn stuff."
Yes.
Again, where do you get this from?
Wild.
Oh, he's so witty. He's so witty.
I had to ask you. I was like, that ain't even part of my notes, but I had to ask because I was like, because for me, I was like, did he just? Okay.
He did.
He did.
Brought Harriet right out the grave.
Right out the grave. It was
into
like
the game.
Into Deal or No Deal Island. Shocked. I was shocked. Last question, because I know you gotta go.
Sure.
Would you do another reality show, and which one would you want to do?
Absolutely. Now I have the bug. I would. I'm sure there are others, but the one I'd want to do the most would be Traders. And the reason is people are like, "Oh, everybody loves Traders." That's not why I would want to do it. I'd want to do it because I love Traders too, and I've watched it. I want to do it, and you know what? The only reason I even know about Traders is Boston Rob told me.
Oh,
when he interviewed me, he said, "You need to do Traders." And I didn't know what Traders was. So much so, when I came home to look for it, I typed in Traders like Trader Joe's.
Oh.
And was like, what is he talking about? Then I found it. But when I watched it, it is such a game designed for me. I can perceive people. I can see what they're not showing. I can hear what they're not saying. And it is such a game designed for perception, how you perceive others. So that would be the first one that I would think about being on. I really would love to do that show.
Would you want to be a trader or a faithful?
Of course, I'd want to be a faithful. I got faithful energy. For me, I sniff out Traders.
Okay.
Right? I want to sniff out Traders because I think that's where my skill is high.
Okay. I like that. I think you'll be a good faithful. But I think you'll be a good trader because of your
trade. I don't think anyone would suspect
nobody would suspect you
at all.
Absolutely. And I think you'll keep a level head throughout the whole thing. I certainly would.
That's not hard for me to do.
Absolutely. Shelle, you are a joy. You are so precious. I enjoyed this conversation so much.
Thank you. Me too.
This is like talking to my friends.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You are welcome to come back to the Cup anytime.
I will, for sure.
Look, I follow you on Facebook, on Instagram.
Good.
So
good. And I will follow you back.
Period. And I'll send you a message anytime.
Okay, please.
But thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see y'all later.
Yes, you will.
Shelle, she's so great. Oh my gosh. I've had the best time talking to her. I know y'all enjoyed that conversation, and so did I. So y'all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. I did not put the banner up the entire time because I thought she was just so great, but there it is. Y'all know what to do. Follow her on her socials on Instagram at Shelle Wooten. You can follow the Cup on Instagram, the Cup Pod, and Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We just gotta do all those things. She was such a delight. Such a delight. I enjoyed that conversation so much, thoroughly. So much. But follow us on this channel. Subscribe to this channel. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we appreciate you if you would subscribe. Follow us here. Follow us on all of our other channels at the Cup Pod for Drag or Drag Race, at the Cup ESC for Eurovision Song Contest, and at the Cup Ringside for WWE Wrestling. And you can follow us on our audio podcast link if you need to check us out on the go. All those links will be in the description below. And of course, join our Patreon so you can get all of our great stuff that we talk about and do in Patreon. Get your merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And that's it. Thanks so much for joining. And we will see you next time for another interview. Cheers, y'all. Bye.